Everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. Spent the day
good
riding around with Scott on home inspections and just true criming from the car. And
yeah, nice.
I have no complaints.
Right? Well, that's good.
Another
I've spent
gorgeous
the day playing with some new filament I got.
Fun.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful day. I've been printing with this filament. See, this is a little dachshund that I have now.
Oh, that is so cute. Yes.
This filament's really, really pretty. So, yeah.
Oh,
it's been an interesting day.
This morning, too.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
Amazing. Yes, I have some absolutely gorgeous hearts that just came out of the kiln. They're not scrubbed yet. Like, they have a ways to go, but oh my gosh. Losing my mind.
How exciting.
Yeah, and I'm in the process of making my first dish. My first, like, real, done well bowl. And, yeah, so that also is going back in the kiln tonight. It's going to take 3 rounds in the kiln to make this. It's crazy. But,
wow.
So round 2 is going to go in the kiln later tonight once I'm done with this show. But anyway, very concerned about our friends in Oklahoma that had that horrific tornado yesterday. I know some of you guys are in Norman, so we're worried and hoping you guys are okay. And for the rest of you on the East Coast that are about to get pummeled with a tornado or with a hurricane, we're worried about you too.
I know. Dang it. Everybody stay safe. Get to where you can be safe, please.
Yes, please.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Well, this is our Wednesday night case updates show, and I guess we'll lead with the shittiest update of them all. Marcellus Williams was put to death by the state of Missouri last night at 6:10 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
In spite of everything, the governor of Missouri thought the best plan would just be to murder a man who is potentially innocent of the crime he was convicted of.
Yep.
Makes me sick.
Yep.
This is why we shouldn't have the death penalty. We can't be trusted with it.
Yep. Absolutely.
This was his final statement. All praise be to Allah in every situation.
Yeah.
I've seen interviews with family members.
Not only was he black, he was Muslim. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why. Do you know that there's also a connection to the murder victim in that case, to the governor of Missouri? We're going to be covering that later. No, I just learned about this today. We're going to be covering that later. Obviously not tonight. I am hearing myself doubled in my ear. Are you hearing me anywhere else?
No.
Okay. I don't know why that is. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing that, but it's very weird.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're going to cover that some more because this is a deep well, unfortunately. We sound okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my earbud, but anyway. Courtney says she hears me twice. Bit of an echo.
Okay. Weird.
It's a quiet echo after the fact. That's what I'm hearing too.
I will double check my audio.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. Give us a moment, guys. Something weird's going on. Says I'm on the right mic. Says I'm on the right headphones.
Yeah.
All that.
Is that any better on my side?
Let me see. I don't hear my... No, I do.
It's got to be on your side. I have no idea. That's weird.
You guys hear it better? It's better now? Okay.
Okay.
It usually is. You don't have any volume up at all on your computer speakers on your side at all, do you?
I will mute them. I don't know. Oh,
Try muting them. What?
then I couldn't hear you. Yeah, so no, I
Oh,
don't.
okay. Well, you should be able to mute your computer and still hear me through your headset. Huh. Well, I guess we're just going to do our best. I don't know what's going on.
Me neither. Nothing has
No,
changed since we recorded yesterday. I have no
I
idea.
know. Not a clue. So anyway, sorry about it. Um, I did see interviews with a couple of Marcellus Williams family members today who said that he was prepared, that he knew that this was
Hmm.
probably coming, and that he asked that there please not be any rioting or any violence
Hmm.
due to this, that this should be handled a different way,
Sure.
hopefully at least through the courts,
Yeah.
and we're just going to keep on driving forward knowing that this is a great example of why the death penalty is hugely problematic.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and because, of course, when this went to the United States Supreme Court, they voted on party lines.
Yep,
It was just the Democrats that said, no, we should stay
right.
this, and it was all the Republicans that said, no, we should go ahead.
It's
Everything is
become a
decided on party lines now. There is absolutely no. I don't understand
critical
this.
thinking skills.
It
Yeah,
wasn't that hard of a look at this case for anyone to go, there's reasonable doubt here. This person should not be put to death. That was not
right.
hard.
Yeah. No, not at all. And I don't know. I couldn't even hardly speak
Yeah.
about it last night. Just
Yep.
so frustrated.
Yeah.
But with that, we have a lot of other very interesting things happening right now.
Yes, we do.
Katie, why don't you tell us about a break in Madeleine McCann, if you can imagine?
Oh my gosh, you guys. There has been court going on in the Madeleine McCann situation, missing Madeleine McCann. So Christian Bruckner has been in court. And so this is his trial in Braunschweig, that's northern Germany.
Hmm.
And so they have a former cellmate of his on the stand. This is Laurentius Coden. He asked him if he was also behind bars for child offenses when they were sharing a cell in 2020. Coden claimed that the convicted rapist, Bruckner, begged him to burn down his lair when he got out of prison and asked him whether the DNA from a child can be taken from bones from the ground.
Oh, God.
Hmm. He also claims that he told him that he had been in Portugal where he was stealing. He said he went into a place with an open window looking for money, but he didn't find money, but he found a kid and he took the kid. He said 2 hours later there were police and dogs all over the place, so he took off out of the area in his car with the child.
Man, why can't this man just say what he did and get this over with?
Hmm.
It's hideous.
Yeah. Bruckner also told him he used to have a van to kidnap young girls and rape near Hanover.
Ugh.
Yeah. He said quite a few things, but at any rate, he certainly indicated Madeleine McCann. He also told him he had taken a very young little girl and had sex with her but didn't kill her. All of the children that Coden referenced today in court, he called them it.
Oh, God.
I don't want to get it wrong, but it was very tiny. I mean, young. Every time we were
Psychopath.
together, he spoke about these things because he was convinced that I was a pedophile, but she actually is not. But so of course Buckner is already in jail, in prison for the rape of an American pensioner, Diana Menkes, in Algarve, and now he's also standing trial for unconnected sex crimes between 2000 and 2017. I mean, he is just a horrific human, but it really seems like, at least from what his cellmate is saying, that he did kidnap and murder Madeleine McCann.
My
Yep.
God.
Yep.
What a hideous human being.
Without a doubt. Terrible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We have lots. There's a little update in Kori Richins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are asking the judge to consider several things. First of all, they're trying to, they're trying their shot at dismissing, which good luck.
Yeah.
They want to allow more than 8 jurors in the trial, and apparently this trial is set for an 8-person jury.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know what Utah law. I haven't had a chance to look to see what Utah law allows for. They want to try the charges separately in different jury trials,
Oh, they'll never get that.
right? They want to move the case outside of Summit County.
They might get that.
Um, yeah. Um, they're looking at Salt Lake County, which of course is really big.
Right.
The other thing that they're trying to get is they're trying to get bail
Yeah. Yet again.
up until the trial.
Yeah. So the population of Summit County is 43,000.
So it's way smaller than Salt Lake County.
Mm-hmm.
The judge has said that he is willing to consider that. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jamie. James, I'm sorry. Utah has only 8 jurors for felony and 12 for a capital case. I got you, and this is not a capital case.
Oh, okay.
So interesting. Miss Kori wants lots of special treatment all the way around. It's pretty unusual for someone charged with murder to be out on bond before their trial. I just think that's not even a possibility.
Yeah.
Uh, all of this is very interesting, though. It's so typical of Kori. She's just sure that she is extremely special and,
Mm-hmm.
should be treated in as special as humanly possible in every way.
Yeah.
It's gross.
The grossest. Yeah. So just to for comparison, there the population of Salt Lake County is 1.2 million.
Yeah. So
they'll get
they
that.
they may be able to say that there's been, because there has been a lot of coverage on this trial,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I think they're likely to get the venue change. I don't even know if legally they can get a bigger jury where she's not charged with a capital case, if that can even happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bail so she can write another book, right, Kristi?
Well, she
Well,
was
she's
already
been
working
writing
on
one, don't you know? Right.
Till her
when she
cell
was-
got tossed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Karen.
Crazy.
That's funny.
So she's asking for the moon as usual, and probably not going to get most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Michelle Troconis was out on bail prior to trial, but she was her trial took them many years to actually try her.
Also, doesn't Michelle Troconis' family have a lot of money?
Yes, very, very wealthy. So they were able to put up a gigantic bond.
Mm-hmm.
Kori, I don't think she actually has access to her money because she's charged with all kinds of fraud.
Mm-hmm.
So I really doubt that that's going to be a possibility.
Yeah.
For her. Katie, some really disturbing but not surprising news in Gabby Petito.
Oh, for God's sake.
Thank you, Karen.
There has been some body cam footage released. This is a video of an officer that was going to the door of the Laundrie's home. This is after Bryan made it home, while the Petitos and, law enforcement and everyone else that could, possibly come and help were searching Grand Teton National Forest for Gabby's body. And we know now, of course, that Laundries knew. They knew that Gabby was dead. They knew she was there.
Yeah.
And they were denying to everyone that would listen having any idea that that was the case. So this is 3 minutes of vest cam footage. Get your punching pillow. You're going to want it.
Mm-hmm.
Northport Police Department.
Yes.
How you doing, sir? I apologize for bothering you. I have the detective on the phone.
I'm not talking to anybody right now.
You don't want to talk to us?
No.
Okay, she's on the phone. You don't want to talk to her now?
No.
Okay, when was the last time that you saw Bryan and Gabriel?
Well, Bryan is here.
Bryan is here?
Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say.
And that's why you're saying?
Yeah, we have an attorney. They've been calling. I don't know. That's all I want to say. I don't know why so many attorneys are aware
Okay.
they're calling. So I can give you his number.
Whose number? The attorney's number?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like that, please, so I can give it to the detective. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yep.
And just to let the detective know, is Gabriel here? Or no?
No.
She's not here. Okay.
Yeah, the fellow was here last night.
Yeah. Okay. So is this her vehicle? Her van?
It's both of them.
Is both of them? Okay.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello. Yeah. Yes. And it's all on my body cam. Okay. All right. I'm gonna notify. They said that Gabriel's not here. That's all they're saying. That his son is here, but Gabriel's not, and they're not talking. And then he said that they're tired of being harassed or being called. That by the family. Okay, and his name is Steven Bertolino. That's the attorney's number. And his office number. And his cell phone is. Is there anything on my part that I can do to assist you? I mean, do you need me to notify my detective bureau? Yeah. Yes?
Wow.
They knew. They knew at that point that Gabby was dead in the forest.
Yep.
And lied. Refused
1,000
to talk
miles
to the
away.
police.
More than 1,000 miles away.
Yep. Lied about who the van belonged to. That was Gabby's van. It was in her name, not Bryan's.
Right.
The whole thing just makes me so fucking mad to watch that and listen to those liars and the way they are so dismissive. We're not talking to anyone. They're tired of being harassed and called by her family. Like they're the victims.
Yeah.
Her daughter was missing and found to be dead. Like, are you kidding
Fucking
me?
assholes. Right?
They are the worst humans in the world.
They really are.
I thought that already, but watching this video just really grinds that in.
It does. It really does. And yeah, exactly. Grant said Bryan wasn't raised in a vacuum. Exactly.
Yep.
He was trash because he was raised by trash.
Mhm.
Can you imagine your child's fiance is missing and you refuse to cooperate with the police? You refuse to speak to her parents. I cannot imagine that. It is so disgusting.
Gabby lived with them for a year.
Yeah.
They claim to love her and care about her. More lies.
Right.
Yep.
Obviously, I
Right.
didn't give a
You're right,
lie
Janet.
to
It
talk
wasn't
about her.
long. Mm-hmm. Janet said it wasn't long after that their entire street was swamped with protesters, social media, and people screaming at them all day and night. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Because obviously they knew.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knew they knew.
They're tired of people coming over here asking them.
A human being is missing. A human being that you clearly know something about and don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
God,
Awful.
so sick.
I'll never understand how those two didn't catch a charge. I will never
Right?
understand. But what they will have for now and forever is that the whole world knows what trash they are.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that it hasn't affected them in many avenues of their life because I'm sure it has.
I hope so, honestly. I mean, there should be recourse for that.
Yeah.
Gross.
Right, Betsy? This was too easy for them, wasn't it? She said, I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
the Laundries have ridden Brian's rodeo before. Yeah, this was
Right?
way too easy for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the ones who led police directly to Brian's body. Yeah.
Brian, who they had no idea where Brian was.
Yeah, Brian.
What? We don't
Brian?
know.
Who's that? New phone. Who dis? We don't know him. Yeah.
That car in the driveway that we obviously brought home from the place where Brian went to kill
Yeah.
himself. I mean, this all resulted in the suicide of their own kid.
Mm-hmm.
So gross. Ugh.
Awful.
Just when you think they aren't, you can't hate those people more.
Yep. There was a civil suit, Jamie. They settled out of court. Yeah.
Yeah, they did settle the court. Right, Teresa? Why weren't they charged with obstruction?
I
They should have been.
agree.
That right there was obstruction.
Mm-hmm. Awful.
Just
So-
not right.
Yep. So that's that.
Well, speaking of awful,
We've been a lot of fun this week.
ooh, well, this is kind of funny, but stupid. Bryan Kohberger has made a request of the courts.
Mhm.
Authorizing Mr. Kohberger to wear street clothing to all public hearings is one way to reduce potential for prejudice.
Mhm.
We all know he's in jail, Anne. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. And prejudice, what? For who? The judge? Or just because these are aired on the internet, she thinks. I mean, he has been in a suit for every single one of his appearances thus far.
And
But-
how they're getting away with that, I do not know. But I will bet that they don't let him do that in Ada County.
Interesting.
Because normally that privilege is reserved for trial, for
Right.
jury selection and trial.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything else. Bryan and Kori are singing the same dumb song.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been amazed that he's been allowed that in Latah County all this time. But, he's in Ada County now.
Yeah.
And he is not going to get the kid glove treatment there.
Well, no, he came from a jail that holds, I believe, 17, I think we said last week,
Yeah.
to an enormous jail. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ann Taylor at it again. Why should he get special treatment? Nobody else is getting that. Lori Vallow didn't get that. And Chad Daybell didn't get that.
Yeah.
They were in their jail jammies unless they were at trial.
Mm-hmm.
How it ought to be.
Yep.
So we shall see.
So,
Right. Kohberger's request. Yeah. Kristi says Kohberger's request reminds me of Alec Murdaugh. Right.
Mhm.
It's the same kind of, special treatment kinds of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. There was one other filing in Kohberger, and that was Fox News had requested the opportunity to film in their hearing tomorrow. That was denied. The judge said that he will be live streaming. So,
Okay.
just FYI,
Well.
that will be streaming.
Do you think his courtroom is any better than the one that Judge Boyce used in that same courthouse
We're gonna find out.
for sound, and also that huge bank of windows that made it so hard? We just saw Chad Daybell in black outline all the time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be watching that. We're not going to stream it because Jesus Christ. Well, y'all watched the last one we streamed. His hearings are hideously boring, but we will, certainly be updating on what happened in that hearing.
Yeah. That is at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll probably at some point tomorrow or Monday have an update on that. Yeah. And Katie, I know that you've got some on Steins.
Yes, I have the arraignment of Sheriff Steins, or do we still call him that? Of Micky Steins.
Let's just say Micky Steins.
Yeah, kind of seems gross to call him the sheriff. Yep, but he was arraigned today.
All right, I'm going to call the case of Commonwealth versus Sean Steins, 24F 147, Letcher District Court. Is the Commonwealth present?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Judge Ramsey Dallum on behalf of the Commonwealth.
And Jackie Steele also on behalf of the Commonwealth, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I see the defendant, is that the defendant at the Leslie County Detention Center?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who's standing next to him?
I'm Josh Miller, Public Defender of the Capital Trials Branch.
Danny Clark, Jailer, Leslie County.
All right, thank you. And has the defendant filed a petition for indigency?
Not at this point, Your Honor.
Okay. And what about the Commonwealth? Does Commonwealth want to make any statements before I proceed with arraignment?
No, Your Honor. Other than I don't know why Mr. Miller is present. If he's not filed out an indigency paperwork, his office has not been appointed. I don't know that he has any reason to be here as in an official capacity as an attorney.
Right. Mr. Miller, do you believe that he's entitled to a public defender at this time?
I do, Your Honor.
And why is that?
This is a capital eligible case, and I believe that the cost of defending ethical defense of a capital eligible case will exceed his means.
Would you like to respond to that, Mr. Steele?
I would, Your Honor. A couple of things. One, I believe what he's telling me is that he's been out soliciting a client, which is obviously not allowed under our ethical obligations as attorneys. Two, even if he hasn't, if he has and he's been out trying to discern how much his financial capacities are, he's wasting state resources without an appointment. And this court is the party that appoints an attorney, not DPA, whatever division, just because they think he's going to need one.
Would you like to respond to that, Mr. Miller?
Your Honor, in cases like this, it is essential that a defense investigation start immediately, and I haven't solicited anything, but advised Mr. Steins of his rights, and if the court appoints us, we will represent him.
Is he still the sheriff of Leslie County?
At this point, I believe so. Letcher County.
Letcher County, I'm sorry.
Judge, I can't speak to that, and he currently is still the sheriff of Letcher County.
Yeah, well, I don't think he would qualify as an indigent defendant.
Well, sir, we're happy to, or Mr. Steins is happy to put any paperwork, file anything that would help the court make that determination. Obviously, the court is the one that appoints us.
Has he filed an affidavit for indigency?
Not at this point, Your Honor.
All right, we'll proceed with formal arraignment. Are you Sean Steins?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can't be used against you. Have your silence can't be used to find you guilty. County attorney must prove your guilt, or the Commonwealth must prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to call witnesses on your behalf. You have the right to cross-examine witnesses called against you. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by a jury of your peers. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll appoint one to represent you. And you have the right to appeal any decision that I make. You're charged with murder, a capital offense here in Kentucky, a Class A felony, punishable by 20 to 50 years in prison, 25 years to life in prison, 25 years to life without the possibility of parole, and the possibility of the death penalty. Do you have an attorney, Mr. Steins?
I have not hired one.
Have you tried to hire an attorney? Have you spoken to any attorneys about taking your case?
No, no, sir.
And are you telling me that you don't have the means to, do you not have the means? Do you own a home?
Yes.
Do you own any other real estate?
Got a place in Tennessee, but I still owe for it with the bank.
Yeah, do you know how much equity you have in your own home?
My home and my property is paid for.
And do you have an estimated value of that real property?
I think the PBA's got it on for about $45,000.
And what's your income?
It's based on statute. I think this year it was going to be 115,000.
Do you have money savings, bank accounts?
I had a check-ins.
Sir, it's my understanding that he's in the process of losing his job as the sheriff of Letcher County, obviously, and will not have income going forward. His family is not prepared for this eventuality. And again, I think the cost of defending one of these cases can reach well into this several $100,000.
You're entitled to, since you're charged with a felony, you're entitled to have a preliminary hearing within 10 days from the date of this arraignment. Do you believe you'll be able to obtain counsel to represent you on these charges within those 10 days?
I hope so. It's kind of hard, where I'm at, having contact with people I need to.
The court recognizes that it is going to take a considerable amount of money to retain an attorney to represent you on this capital offense. However, I don't believe you do at this time qualify as for public assistance due to the fact that you aren't indigent. However, based on the circumstances of this case and the fact that we do need to have a preliminary hearing within 10 days, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you for the limited purpose of assisting you at your preliminary hearing. If and when this case does proceed to circuit court, the circuit court may require you to hire your own counsel. Do you understand that, Mr. Steins?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll does he want to enter a plea at this time?
Your Honor, he would enter a plea of not guilty and request a date for preliminary hearing.
All right, we'll set the preliminary hearing next Tuesday, October the 1st at 1 o'clock in West Liberty, Kentucky.
Excuse me, Your Honor, we said October 1st at 1 o'clock?
Yes, October 1st at 1 o'clock in West Liberty, Kentucky at the Morgan County Judicial Center.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else before we adjourn this hearing?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
No,
Just
Your
one
Honor.
thing, I do have one thing, Judge, just for clarification. In regards to transportation for the defendant, how would the court prefer? I don't care to do an order for that to be done.
I was thinking that we would have the state police post a transport if they would. I don't know that we'll need an order. I'll just request it, and if that's a problem, we can work out other transportation. Is that all?
Nothing further from our end, Your Honor.
All right. This hearing's adjourned.
What the hell?
Right?
Already, this man is getting special treatment.
Yeah.
How many times would a public defender just show up to represent any random Joe Schmo?
Yeah. That they weren't actually assigned to represent. Yeah.
Right. Like, come on. That was sketchy. And I didn't feel like the sheriff was being very honest about his assets.
Well, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. And
Yeah,
that's all going to come out. So
right.
You don't want your family to have to lose their home. You don't want your assets to be considered here. Well, maybe you shouldn't have, I don't know, murdered the judge.
Right.
It's such a weird, because that judge is literally filling in for Judge Mullins. He's filling in for all of his stuff right now because, he's deceased and all.
Right.
It's wild. Yeah.
Right. I got a checking account. He was making over $100,000 a year as a sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. He's got stuff. He's got, and he may eventually be indigent, and I don't want to see his family out on the street or anything, but he was lying.
He was lying. Yeah. So Jess said from the jail, they always have a public defender there when they're doing arraignments by Zoom. So they would have someone there just in case, I guess. But yeah.
I guess, but the prosecutor was like,
what the hell is this?
What the hell is this? Well, and so was the judge. He's like, well, I'll appoint him through your preliminary hearing, but you have to go through the channels. Just because you're the sheriff doesn't mean that you don't have to apply for a public defender and prove you're indigent. And the judge is like, I don't think you're indigent. Yeah.
He won't be. He won't be. His salary is $115,000 a year. And I realize he won't be working now, but he has assets. He's not indigent. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You have to fill out forms. Yeah. You have to prove that you're indigent. It's not just your word. So that was wild, but that did feel sketchy. Like, this is not the way that this is supposed to go.
Well, not according to the prosecutor. He was pretty thrown off by it. But, yeah, so I know. But that's the worry, though, is like, how is Micky Steins going to be treated? And this today just felt a little sketch. But, yeah. So this guy probably will,
see.
Maybe we'll see him in 10 days. Maybe we won't,
Right.
At this point, since the judge appointed him, we probably will. But after that, we probably won't. There'll probably be a new attorney on board after that. But
I would imagine so. Yeah.
This is just such a hard one for law enforcement because of his station, and because many of them knew Judge Mullins as well, and like this is just a very, very hard thing that's happening. I would imagine that this judge knew Judge Mullins as well. Like, this is
hell yeah.
This is going to be a hard one to try because everyone knew Judge Mullins, and probably most of them know Micky Stein as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It just feels not good.
Yeah. And just so hard. Yeah. His family did attempt to visit him, and he would not allow them to. Which is probably good. I don't know that his kids really need to go see their dad at jail right now, right after all this has happened. But
they've got to be. I can't imagine. No.
How devastated and how rocked everyone who knows both of these men are.
Right. Yeah, it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
In such a small place.
Yeah, I agree. They'll grant a change of menu motion. Yeah, agree. They'll have to. There's no
Yeah,
way.
that absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a teeny tiny place.
it
Yeah.
is.
So there you
Well,
go. The wheels are turning.
yes, they are. Well, let's talk a little bit about Donna Adelson.
Oh
As
yeah.
we know, her trial has been delayed,
Hmm.
thanks to some shady bullshit that went on, where her attorney had a conflict of interest due to representing her son, and they did not get a waiver signed for that, and they didn't bother to say that until the first day of jury selection.
Hmm.
So her, the original attorney's co-counsel, Alex Morris, is taking over the defense. Now, the part of this that I don't really get why they need such a big delay is that this was this guy's co-counsel. He was already on the case.
Right.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's just a wild, wild situation, I think.
But he says he is totally unprepared to move forward alone.
But
Without some
bullshit.
time. Yeah.
Of course. But, they're going to
A real
milk this
buying
as
of
best they
time.
can.
Yeah.
But, here's the thing that is really problematic is that they had already done a big jury selection for this
Hmm.
case. And those, several hundred jurors reported on last Tuesday, and then were sent home. And what's going to happen now with that? Are they going to have to go back and redo all of that work with the jury? Because I don't know that they can trust that between now and then I don't know. It just is a big mess.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's certainly could have let the courts know before day one of jury selection that this was not.
Yeah.
That he did not have that waiver signed.
Yeah.
So now they're looking at the end of the year or possibly the first part of next year. And, the other guy, the co-counsel who was already there, has taken on the case.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Hmm.
Katie, let's see.
I've got a little bit in Lori Vallow.
Oh, please.
So there was a brief filed on the 19th for a third motion of extension of time in her appeal here in Idaho. I wanted to read you a little bit of it because obviously, and this is kind of what we've already heard from the appellant attorneys in Chad Daybell's case, these poor folks are incredibly overworked and spread thin. So here's what the application for a delay said. Appellant's brief is due on or before September 19th. 2 extensions have already been granted. Due to the press of counsel's present heavy workload and the complexity of this appeal, he has been unable to complete the brief by the current date. In just the last 14 days, counsel prepared for and attended an expedited and urgent hearing as co-counsel in Ada County District Court in Raoul, Labrador versus Idahoans for open primaries, prepared for and conducted a lengthy deposition in Frey versus Centurion et al., filed briefs in support of petitions for review in this court in State v. Dobson and Jones v. State, and prepared for and attended 3 parole hearings, including a hearing involving a second-degree murder conviction. Like, he had to share his whole calendar, make sure the judge knows, dude, I am working my ass off. And then, in addition, while counsel has begun reviewing the record, researching the issues, and preparing the brief, this case is unusually complex. The case proceeded as a capital case for much of its duration in the district court. The record is well over 10,000 pages and includes a significant portion that is sealed and confidential. The clerk and court reporters requested and received multiple extensions to compile the record on appeal. The jury trial lasted nearly 4 weeks, and the transcripts in the record are not organized chronologically, increasing the difficulty of counsel's review. Finally, this was a high-profile and well-publicized case, and Ms. Daybell is now serving 3 consecutive life sentences. Her direct appeal deserves deliberate preparation and review. The undersigned has contacted the state, who does not object to the extension of time. The state's like, do what you gotta do. Like, we don't really care.
I mean, she's not even in Idaho right now. She's in Arizona facing other charges. Like, who cares?
Mm-hmm. And it took only 1 day for this to come back, granting that.
Yeah.
This poor, it killed me that he, shared his calendar. Here's all the stuff I've done in the last 14 days. What have you done? He's got a lot going on. So, at any rate, third motion for extension of time has been granted. I can't imagine they're in a terribly big hurry, considering that she's in another state right now,
Yeah.
as you know, getting ready to go to trial here in a few months. So, anyway, that's all. That's what's going on in Vallow.
Interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on in Suzanne Morphew?
Yeah, now this is interesting. Old Barry, he got all up in his feels about being charged, and he was suing for $15 million. And that has been dismissed. U.S. District Court judge disagrees with Morphew's civil attorneys, saying there was enough probable cause to arrest him in May 2021, so their complaint stops short in federal court without prejudice. So, not happening, bro.
Good.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad because of, what's gone on now with that prosecutor being disbarred over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I don't think we have, Jess, seen the bar findings.
Yeah, would love that if you've got that. Delphi. This is kind of interesting. Richard Allen's attorneys have filed a motion on Monday asking for the jury during the trial to be taken to the Freedom Bridge on the Monon High Bridge and the scene where the bodies of the girls were found.
Yeah.
So the defense wants that.
Mm-hmm.
They also want them taken to where Allen's vehicle was parked between 1:30 p.m. and 4 p.m. the day the girls first went missing.
Yeah.
And they're saying that this could be completed in under 90 minutes. That seems like a lot of places to take the jury. Like, taking the jury out, I mean, it's not that common. But what are they trying to show? Like, distances, how long it takes to get from one place to another place? Like, it's very interesting that they want to do that. That's the first that I've heard of them thinking of taking the jury out to the locations. So
I can't fathom that Judge Gold is going to allow that.
Me either. I think it's really unlikely.
She's hardly allowing Richard Allen to show up in court with clothing on. I mean, she's doing literally everything possible to derail. So I can't imagine she's going to allow that. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will find out how long it takes to hike there. Allen was only there 30 minutes. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking is it's a timing thing that they want to try to show. Let's see. So a few things in Sarah Boone. One thing we know is that her attorney has made one of her attorneys, her lead attorney, I guess, has made a statement now that they have, in fact, been in some talks considering a plea deal in which they have turned that down for Sarah, which I think is epically stupid on her part, considering the evidence they have against her.
Yeah,
they are banking really hard on battered spouse, and I just cannot imagine how the jury is going to see it that way, considering the manner that this homicide was committed. She didn't shoot him in the heat of getting beat up. She zipped
Yeah.
him into a suitcase and left him there to suffocate she could have just left,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the video is just, it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she's trying to get some statements thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang it, I just got paywalled on that. She's trying to get some statements thrown out that she had made. Uh-oh. What happened to me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't
I can-
know.
See you too. Did you vanish?
Well, I can't see myself. That's odd.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, you're
she
frozen
wants,
on my side. I can hear you, but your face is
is
frozen.
that what's happening? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she wants some statements thrown out that she made to the police because, guys, she said that stuff by accident.
Mm-hmm.
It was
and what
just
she
an accident.
said was that it was an accident, right? That's what she
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. Yeah. She's saying that this was an accident, and I don't know why I'm frozen. That's so weird.
Do you want to go out and come back in?
Yeah, I will. Give me one sec.
Yeah, so she wants her statements to the police saying that this was an accident to be thrown out. So, interestingly, because she accidentally said that. So, it's all an accident with Sarah, apparently. With, out a whole lot of accountability. But that's essentially where it's at, is those are the statements that she wants removed. Yes, she accidentally said things. Yes. Yeah.
Also, if she says that the murder was an accident, then it can't be battered spouse syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, if she didn't mean to kill him, then it's not battered spouse.
Right.
So it's just a bunch of doublespeak. It's just typical Sarah Boone bullshit, honestly.
So now she really, really did mean to kill him. However, it's because she was a battered spouse.
Yes. So she's changed her story so many times. And it's just like, dude, the videos exist. Like, you can change your story over and over and over again. But the videos do not lie.
Yeah.
At all.
It would be the only chance she would have would be to get those videos thrown out, which will absolutely never happen.
No.
When the jury looks at those videos and listens to her taunting him while he begs for his life, and then sees the cop cam footage of the way she behaves with the police the next day.
So, oh my God, it's so damning.
They are going to be dashing into that jury room to come back with a guilty verdict. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And it also, I don't understand why they wouldn't be interested in taking a plea at this point. I really, like, what the hell? But
she's way too concerned or convinced that she's going to come out on top on this. It's wild.
She really is. After all of this, it's so strange to me. But anyway, that's I don't know how you tell the cops things accidentally. And I don't know how, you claim that what happened was one thing and then another and then another and then another and then use something else for defense. Like, it's just not gonna.
No.
This is why they tell you have the right to remain silent. Yeah. Because anything you say can and will be used in a court of law, friends. And it
Sarah's never been accused of remaining silent.
Definitely no.
Jess said that attorney
that chick is a talker.
Oh, when she should not be.
Yeah.
Jess said that attorney didn't even cite any case law to support her position. They also read her Miranda rights, and she talked anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bananas to think that she's going to get out of this. It's crazy. She just should have considered a plea. Yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy, though, if at the end of the day she took one? After all of these attorneys and all of this nonsense these years? That would be crazy.
Yeah. Right. Crazy.
Right, Kai, she has the right, but not the ability.
Yeah. Janet, she's not just been evaluated by one psych. She's been evaluated by multiple psychs.
Yeah.
And I mean, personality disorder, yeah, for sure. But it's not a defense.
Yeah.
No. I think that's it. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, we've got Karen Reed and Shanna Gardner.
Oh, yeah, we do. Go on Shanna Gardner.
Okay. Shanna Gardner-Fernandez was in court this week. We did I did share it, so you guys can watch it on our page if you want to. But essentially, they were asking for bond yet again and for a case dismissal. Both of those things were denied already, but without prejudice, and told the defense if they could bring up the issues with new information, then they could be considered again. But at this point, there is no new information, so stop asking, essentially. Yeah. So her attorneys are trying to argue prosecutorial misconduct, saying that the state knowingly presented false evidence that was material to the court's denial of bond. Basically, they're saying that the police officer that they had on the stand for like 2 days said some things that were untrue or inaccurate. So, basically, the judge said that they just didn't find that, and so they're not going to move forward on that. However, they did okay a motion from the defense to compel the prosecution to hand over a list of records of people they subpoenaed who are out of state. They also want a transcript of the detective's grand jury testimony, and the judge did not rule on that yet. They wanted more information. So that's what's going on in that case. We're not too far from trial for Shanna and her husband, but that's what's going on so far in that case. Yeah, there is a clip on YouTube. I've seen it on X too, of Sarah on a Nickelodeon show when she was a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it around.
Sarah was smart and capable, but also an alcoholic that was a damn mess. Yeah.
Alcohol really fucked things up.
Yeah.
All right. Karen Reed.
All right. So the... Oh, sorry,
I thought
that's
I was
you. You are.
Is it me?
Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We're going to do it in tandem. No, just kidding. So Karen Reed's defense has filed a brief with the Massachusetts Supreme Court arguing that they should reverse Judge Cannon's decision not to dismiss 2 of the charges against her. So if you remember, when the mistrial was declared on July 1st, it turned out that the jury had actually found her not guilty of second-degree murder and leaving the scene. But that was, the whole thing was a total clusterfuck, and it was handled really poorly. Yeah. And so her team is saying it would be double jeopardy to retry her on those 2 because the jury did find her not guilty. I don't know, because the judge declared a mistrial. Is that going to, there was lots of problems with the jury form, what they were supposed to fill out. They basically hung on 1 count, and then they actually had verdict on 2 others, but I don't know that it really got documented that way. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Supreme Court does with this, the state Supreme Court, because it really is kind of a scary thought that the way that this was handled, she may have actually been acquitted of 2 of those counts, and then they're trying to retry her on them again. Like, is that really true? Was that documented correctly or whatever?
Right.
And should they overturn what Judge Cannon did? Right. The jury form was ridiculous. And they were told that they had to come back with a verdict on all counts, which was not true. Right. They could come back with different verdicts on different counts, which is really what happened, is that they were hung on one count, and then they acquitted her on the other 2 counts. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the Massachusetts Supreme Court's going to do with this.
Yeah. Well, but like Jess said, they're going to be heard by the full panel, which really means that they think that they all need to be present to hear this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and it's good because this was a big mess. And they've got to figure out a way to clean it up, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So their arguments, they have 3 arguments that they're bringing before the Supreme Court. That the jury's agreement of not guilty to second-degree murder and leaving the scene constitutes an acquittal, and that it would be double jeopardy to retry her on those 2 charges.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is citing text messages that show jurors were confused by jury instructions, and if polled, they would all be in agreement that Reed was not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that did not happen
Right.
in court, and that's a huge mess on the part of the judge, honestly.
Because that should have happened in court. She fucked this up so bad.
She did terribly.
It's so hard to understand what she was thinking. She was tired, guys.
Yeah, she was tired.
Mm-hmm.
Then the defense argues that she is entitled to a post-verdict inquiry about whether her claims are true about the jurors. So they feel like the Supreme Court has got to look at, because a lot of jurors came forward right after this going, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is what we understood and this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're saying that Judge Cannon declared a mistrial too soon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's not good. It is not good. And I don't know what way the Supreme Court is going to go, but they've got to clean this up in some way because the way this trial ended was such a mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
we
could be a
shall see.
violation of her rights. And if they, can't get anywhere with this Supreme Court, they may try and go on to a higher court. And they should, because this was a mess.
should.
This isn't how things are supposed to be done.
No, right or wrong with Karen Reed,
Yeah.
there should be a very clear, most trials when you get to the verdict, and how things are handled
Yeah.
is supposed to be handled in a very specific way that can never be impeached. And
Yeah.
that did not happen in this case.
She was so rocked and so flustered. But the defense was too, and they should have. Here's my opinion, my completely, unschooled opinion. They should not have agreed. They kind of went, okay, fine, I guess. They shouldn't have agreed to anything.
Yeah.
They should have asked for a recess for a few minutes to get their bearings and decide how to move forward. This is just stupid. Yeah. But
Oh, that's interesting. Jess says that they have brought in an appellate attorney on her team that has been to the U.S. Supreme Court multiple times. So they're planning to take this
Interesting.
to the top if they have to.
Also, the new special counsel that the state has brought in, this
Yeah.
guy defended Whitey Bulger.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and right, exactly. The misconduct into the police and all the shit that's going on. Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was very against the defense. She gave the defense a really hard time. Yeah.
She did. She did. And it does look like bias. Like,
Mhm.
why was the jury form written the way that it was? Like the verdict form.
And the
Like-
defense tried to get that changed, and she
Yeah.
refused.
Yeah. It's wild stuff. So we will see what happens with that. But I think we're going to be seeing that going through the system, maybe all the way clear to the top to the feds.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Wild.
And I think with that really is everything.
Yes.
Yes, it is. All right. Well,
We finally did it. That was a lot.
We
There was
did.
a ton tonight.
yes, so much.
It's so funny. Sometimes on Wednesdays we start getting our cases together and we're like, there's not a lot. Let's go find some new stuff because there's not a lot out there. But today
Tons.
we just kept going and going and going. Yeah.
We did. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being here, whether you've been here with us live or you've been here with us or you're here with us after the fact on the replay crew. Wherever you're watching, we appreciate it so very much.
Mhm.
We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain, Thursday. I shouldn't say Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain. We're always here Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain for a another episode. We've got lots of other interesting crime to cover. So thank you very much for being present with us. And as you know, we are the True Crime Squad. Have a good night.
Take care.